It's a new year, and what do you think? Resolutions. Yes, but how do you set resolutions with a chronic illness and condition? When all you can think about is, it's just going to get worse, I'm in the middle of setbacks, or all I'm doing is regressing. Nothing seems realistic, and it is becoming defeating. And now you're depressed. What if we shifted the focus and focused on where we are right now to give us purpose and joy in this new year?
Happy New Year!
I'm going to share 5 powerful strategies to help you set New Year's resolutions living with chronic conditions. The first thing we've got to do is let go of those traditional New Year's Day resolutions. Traditional resolutions often focus on massive, life-changing outcomes, like to lose weight, run a marathon, or climb the career ladder. But they don't have to be that big. For those of us managing chronic conditions, this is unrealistic and can result in feeling defeated, like you have no purpose or no goals that can be set. I've been there. I've tried to set goals that my body can't do. The result? Frustration, anger, and feeling hopeless. So let's shift the way we think about resolutions and focus on the small improvements and the small joys you can find in your life and where you are right now. The second thing to remember is tiny goals can make a huge impact. You don't have to have the philosophy, go big or go home, when it comes to setting goals. I know for me, this past year and the years past, I've had to focus on setting simple goals, like finding one part of the day I can find joy in or I can look forward to, whether it may be going out to run a specific errand that I looked forward to, or maybe it might be going outside or going to one of my kids' games. At one point, one of my goals was just to be able to take a shower every few days. Another goal might be you sit up for so many minutes or hours out of bed. It might be learning a new hobby. For me, I found enjoyment in doing puzzles, so I would set a weekly goal of trying to complete a puzzle. Sometimes those weekly goals turned into monthly, but it was a start. Sometimes progress doesn't even mean moving forward. It can be just finding the stillness and the peace and finding a new perspective. Tiny goals build momentum. What's one tiny goal that you can set? A third big thing, accepting regression without losing hope. One of the hardest parts about dealing with chronic illness is coming in contact with setbacks, when you think you should be moving forward, but all you're doing is moving backwards. Your setbacks don't erase the progress you have made, and that may be simple things such as finding enjoyment. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're improving with strength or balance or mobility or stamina. It may be that you're finding some joy and peace in your new life. The first couple of years dealing with all of these chronic medical conditions, when they started, was very difficult for me. I was in a downward spiral of regression. Not only was it hard enough to deal with the physical and the medical problems, but emotionally and psychologically, this is defeating. But you have to remember, once again, progress is not just physical. Acceptance and learning to find joy and peace in your new life is huge. Simple things like surviving a day or asking for help when you normally wouldn't. Those are signs of progress. All of these are points of victories and goals that you can achieve that can make you feel better about yourself and your situation, like you are making gains even when you aren't physically. The fourth thing is setting real life meaningful goals. Resolutions don't have to be superficial. They're really deeply personal, something that's going to improve your quality of life. Sometimes I can't control the physical and medical aspects of my chronic conditions, and since mine's progressive, I don't know what the next day, the next month, or the end of the year is going to look like. But what I know I can control is my perspective and how I look at things. Sometimes we have to set goals that help distract us, if that makes any sense, because it gives us a way to be able to make it through those times that we need help emotionally. One of the things I do is allow myself time to play games or to scroll social media or to do things on my phone. A break from reality of the body I'm living in and getting on the phone helps me disconnect and set things in perspective and like set a reset button. Another thing I did was journaling. Sometimes to just sit there and write down our emotions is a huge thing. Sometimes I would journal about how I would feel, what happened, and other times I would do searches for Google and Pinterest quotes that kind of helped describe how I was feeling and put them into words. And that helped me relate to what I was feeling and to accept it. One of the other things that has helped me is I set a goal to communicate with people, whether it be that one special person that's your person, or it might be friends or family or your support system. It's by forcing ourselves to be social, even though we really don't want to, helps us come out of that shell and creates less isolation that we try to inflict on ourselves when we're not feeling good or we just don't feel like talking to people. And isolating yourself, even though it is relaxing and we need that peace, if you do it day after day, then it can create and lead up to things that can cause depression. So sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone and what we want and set goals that push those boundaries and make us, in this example, more social so we can find that connection with other people. Goals don't have to be about fixing or improving. It can be about exploring, celebrating, or connecting with the joys that you already have in life that we tend to suppress and put in the background because those small joys aren't as comparable as to what we are going through, the hard things. Sometimes living with chronic conditions can cause strain on your personal relationships with your significant other or your family or friends. And your goals for this year may be about reflecting on how to rebuild those healthy relationships without having to feel like you're a burden or are exhausting. The fifth thing is setting a vision or a plan for the year ahead. This year, I'm focusing on creating a vision for my life, how I can find purpose and joy in my life and what I can do right now. For me, in years past, some of my goals might have been focused more on being able to run the next 5K or 10K or obstacle run or doing certain things in my career. But because I can't do those things physically and I'm not able to work at this time, I'm finding joy in something new, and that one of these things being this channel and trying to share my knowledge and experience with you all to help bring you all education and understanding and learning how to adapt to chronic conditions. And in turn, that gives me purpose. So setting a vision and a goal for your life for 2025 is going to be huge, or whatever year you're watching this. Don't set a vision based on pressures and things that are extremely difficult, but focus on the possibilities and things that are creatively personal to you and what you can focus on to help you find more meaning in your life. So here's my challenge to you. What does your vision for the new year look like? Is it embracing a new hobby, reconnecting with loved ones, or finding a reason just to smile each and every day? Whatever it is, let it come from a place of self-compassion, curiosity, creativity, personal connection, not perfection. More than likely, you didn't choose this journey, but what you can choose is how you walk it or live it. Set resolutions that bring bright to your day and not a heaviness to your shoulder or stress you out or remind you what you can't do. But let them remind you what you can do and what are the possibilities of finding that happiness, even in times of setback and regression. And remember, no matter how small the step is, you are moving forward. So that is progress. I have to remind myself all the time because we tend to be our own worst critics of what we consider success. Don't measure your success based on others. Shift your focus and set goals that are personal to you, that help you. Let's make this year about resilience, finding joy and hope and happiness where you are right now. I'd love to hear your ideas of what your goals are going to be. This sometimes can inspire each other and give us ideas of what we could set as goals. Here's to a year of finding joy in unexpected places. Happy New Year.